I hope this is finding everybody enjoying a beautiful day wherever you're at. And I have to tell you, I'm going to do a little playing, but for those that have asked regarding the BEEGEE benders that I have and why I enjoy them so much, well, I'm going to give you an example of why. First of all, I will tell you again about Carl and his workmanship. From that bender mechanism design, which obviously is off of a Parsons style bender from way back when, the craftsmanship, the quality, for the price point, you simply can't beat it. And getting a new guitar. I've recently purchased my fifth one. I have, when it arrives, it'll be the fourth one that I actually have. The fifth one I gave away as a gift. I had it for a while and I just wasn't playing it, and gave it to a friend of mine that was wanting a bender. And of course he was looking for a bender and the price point for a bender. Get on reverb.com and go find out what a bender guitar cost. And or call Mr. Joe Glazier or anybody who installs benders. There's some incredible mechanisms out there. But 99% of the time you have to buy the mechanism and the installation relative to the guitar you supply. Some people make them and they're great. And they're worth the money. Listen, I've got a several $1,000 Glazier double. I love it. That is one of my main guitars that I use. It's a beautiful guitar. It's a double bender. I've got two double benders. But make no mistake, for the price point, this guitar was $750 shipped from Norway. And it's a Harley Benton guitar, but that has the BEEGEE's work put in there. And I love it. One reason I love it, because at that price point, you can do what I wanted to talk about today. And that's the modification of an instrument. I've just got done putting the neck on this. I've taken the original neck, which is a maple cap neck, and I just found a really beautiful roasted maple with a rosewood neck. And it just came in $59 from Amazon. Now, come on. And I bought some tuners. I just put those on it. So I've got a set of Seymour Duncan hot rails, got it tricked out with some new stuff. They're just kit guitars, and whether you buy a $2,500 Telecaster, Fender Telecaster, it's the same thing. It's a bolt-on neck, replaceable parts. It was Leo Fender's, Mr. Fender's concept was to be able to replace parts, even way back when he came up with the design of this in the late 40s, early 50s. But I'm not going to do that on a 68 reissue that I gave a couple $1,000 for, that, by the way, had a bender in it, a Glazier, when I bought it. And I got really fortunate on that guitar because the gentleman didn't price the bender. You know, the guitar itself is worth a price, but with the bender, the Glazier bender in, that's an extra additional thing that this man simply wasn't charging for. So I got lucky on that. But am I going to take and put a replacement neck on that guitar that's several $1,000s? No, I'm not going to do that. I think at some point it just doesn't return the value for what you're adding to the value of the guitar. Now, listen, the kit guitars like this, these are my main players live, but also session work. And so it's so easy to find things you can try. Like if you want to put a couple $100s of pickups in here, then go right ahead. I've got on the new one that Carl's making for me that's going to be here. It's a red double bound rosewood neck. I'll be putting a set of Lindy Fralins. Now, why would I do all this? Why did I just take the neck off of a perfectly good guitar that I love? Because it's inexpensive enough to do it. I've got the neck right over there if I want to put it back. I've got the original pickups if I want to try something different. I didn't want to have 4 or 5 guitars exactly alike in terms of their tonality offerings. So therefore, I have different things that I'm using. These are nothing but tools to me. They're very enjoyable tools that I get to experiment with. Would I do it on a vintage instrument or a high dollar instrument? No, I just wouldn't do it. You start paying, over $1,000 on an instrument. I kind of want to think that at that price point, point, my belief is I bought everything I wanted at that price point. Now, if I end up adding $50 neck, a couple $100 worth of pickups, I'm still in that $1,000 price point. And, you know, to me, Carl, which now I think he's just gone up a little bit here. You know, these guitars are more than worth the money than for just what he puts in there. Now, if you're into benders. So I didn't want to just to talk about that and just let you know one of my main reasons, aside from the fact they're just fun. I don't have my strap put on, but let's hear what this guitar sounded like. So. I started this project this morning, or about an hour and a half ago. I had to install the tuners and then got the neck on. You have to drill the holes for the neck, and you know, just take your time when you're doing this stuff. Ended up having it, when I put it on, I ended up just putting a little shim, which I just use a piece of like hard business card stock, cut a little sliver about the length of your finger and not very wide, and it just helps to cant the neck, you know, this way. So what it doesn't have that's going to really help are the string trees. There's no string tree here, so the pressure of these strings, you can get a lot of, you'll get some buzzing sometimes, and you'll think it's down here, but it's actually the pressure from the string. So I have a Glacier 3-string tree scenario coming in this week that'll be installed before I make any kind of other adjustments. But at this point, it's getting the handshake from the neck to the body really something. I'll tell you, it was resonating just even acoustically. Good solid handshake for sure. Right there, getting a little bit of a buzz, but I'm not going to make any more adjustments till I get the string trees on there to apply the pressure. But it's been literally one of my favorite guitars, and a gift from my beautiful bride. She loved the color, wanted to get it for me for our anniversary several years ago, and I'm very, very grateful. But like I said, I'd put this up against anything that I own from the Glacier Double. And please keep in mind, Mr. Glacier didn't make that guitar. He installed the mechanism in there. So again, I bought a nice body, a nice neck, of which I took the original neck off of that. If you go on the channel here and go back, if you get a chance to go look up, it's a popular video, Together Again, or one version I played the steel guitar, and I broke a string on the steel, and I grabbed the Glacier double bender, but it had a maple neck. And that neck, the original neck on that guitar, didn't have the frets that, I just didn't care for the frets. They were very, very small, and they were needed a fret job. But do you get a $600, $700, $800 fret job, or do you go buy a $50 neck? And that's actually what I did on that neck. So it's just the things you can do that are delivered to your door in 2 days. But I love my BEEGEE benders, and I've loved them so much that number 5 is on the way at some point here sooner than later. But I wanted to more talk about the reasons that I love them is because, number one, the price point to the quality. I've never, ever seen the quality arrive at my door for such a price point. And I will say this about the Harley Benton guitar: they're a very inexpensive guitar to begin with, but the quality, especially these TE62 series, they're just as fine. The double bounds and this one's just it's the quality, the paint, the feel. Just the components are a lesser components. The Roswell pickups, they're not expensive, but listen, that's all subjective. You can get some $8 million pickups if you want to and sound horrible. And so a lot of music has been made on a lot less expensive stuff than the so-called high quality. We're always chasing tone and always thinking that it's the next $100 pedal or $200 pickups. I'm guilty of doing that, like most of us. But the fact of the matter is, for this price point, you can do whatever you want to, and you're customizing every move is one step closer to you understanding what you're looking for. Would I do it on a $3,000 guitar? No, I wouldn't, because I would have probably, if I was spending that kind of money, I would have probably bought the guitar that had it all that I was looking for. So I wouldn't buy a $3,000 guitar and go, yeah, okay, that's a $3,000 guitar, and yet I need to do this more to it. I'm just not, I wouldn't do that. There are people who do that. I guess it was, if you're going to put $200 or $300, whatever that would be, really pickups, I would say there's not much $200 or $300 major work. One, you could get some fret dressing done. Like back in Nashville, a good fret job is going to cost you $500, $600 to $800, depending on the job. So the point is, I wouldn't buy a $3,000 guitar that needed $800 more work, even a fret job. Now, if that were a $7,000 guitar that I bought for $3,000, that's a different story. But all I'm saying, these Harley Benton guitars are fine on their own accord. I've played one that had nothing to do with BEEGEE touching it. Somebody ordered one down here, a guy that I play music with, and man, I'm gonna tell you what, it came out the case, the package playing. It came the same day we were playing a show. It arrived in a box, hadn't even been opened. I helped him open the box up, plugged it right in, tuned it up real quick, and to this day it has had no work done, and just great. Now add BEEGEE's workmanship to it, and keep in mind BEEGEE's a guitar player, so he's not only installing stuff, he's making sure the playability is there before it leaves his hands. So combine that with a top of the line, inexpensive but high quality guitar like a Harley Benton to begin with, and then throw in BEEGEE's work for the price point, you'll not beat it. And listen, it's your money. Spend it wherever you're happy. And if you want to buy $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 benders, by all means, man, let the good times roll for you. And I'm not opposed to that, and I've done it. But I'm also a big proponent on finding something of incredible value and having as much joy in exploring just the neat musical opportunities as changing a neck or changing pickups or tone caps. Like I said, I'm not going to do that on those higher dollar instruments. But thank you for listening. Had a lot of people ask about my thoughts about that kind of thing. But with that said, thank you all for spending some time with me. God bless you. We'll catch up soon.